I'm not gonna lie to you, I've got a little bit of a secret to tell you. I've been coaching now for nearly 2 years, and I can safely say that for about a good 25 to 30% of that, I was still living with the exact same insecurities that I was 6 years ago. Today's video is going to show you how I went from dieting my whole life to actually eating more and becoming quicker, stronger, fitter, healthier, and most importantly, happier. So let's delve into the backstory and the history. My name's Connor, and for 5 years before I became a coach, I worked in McDonald's. Yes, I was the guy serving you Big Mac fries and Coke. Well, I was a manager, so I was telling the people to go and do that for you. I just procrastinated and just sort of like sat in the office. Good times. I was always a little bit bigger in school. Like, I wasn't, you know, fat, overweight, obese, all that stuff, but I was just a little bit stockier. Fucking hated that. When your mum was always telling you, oh, you're just big boned. Yeah, well, that doesn't help me, mum, does it? Anyway, I'm going off a tangent here. Basically, I was just a little bit bigger. And it was alright in school, didn't really bother you, but see, when you get into your teens and into your 20s, that stuff will get to you. 2020 was the first time that I literally done anything. Like, I'd never done dieting, I'd never done anything like that. But I came out of lockdown, we were just feeling a bit, and so was I. I was just feeling a bit crappy. I put in a little bit of timber, a little bit of junkie, a little bit of other stuff, and I just felt very, very bad in my head, in my body, and in everywhere really. So I started going to the gym. Now, in 2020, social media was not the place that it is now. There wasn't as much information. Obviously, there was still a lot, but in the last few years has been when the social media with fitness has really, really boomed. So I just got my information from anywhere. And I probably spent about 2 to 2.5 years eating 1,800 to 2,000 calories. There's a guy who was like 130, 20, 10 kilograms. That is not a lot of food. Now, what I will say for the record is, if I hadn't done that, then I wouldn't have lost the weight that I did, and I wouldn't be here where I am today. So, you know, for the time and place that it served me, it done me a job. However, I want this video today to show you how there's so much of a healthier way to go about it. Now, I don't know if you can relate to this, but for a long time, I looked at anything above 2,000 calories as like a scary number, as I'm like, oh my God, you're eating so much food. I was just being a bit of a tit. But I wasn't to know, and perhaps neither are you watching this video. Essentially, your maintenance calories are the number of calories that if you consume those amount and continue to work at the same level of activity right now, your weight will just stay the same. It might fluctuate a little bit, but realistically it's going to stay the exact same. I never understood it. Like, I never really done any research into maintenance. I never really done any research into surplus or that. I just knew 1,800 to 2,000 calories, and that'll be a deficit. Yeah, you're goddamn right it was a deficit. It was probably about a 1,500 calorie deficit for me. At the start, it was fine because I had so much body fat to lose. When I started off, I was 140 kilograms. When I had that much body fat to lose, of course, the weight was just going to fly off of me. The big turning point was when I was still consuming those calories as a new coach. That is when I really need to change it up here. So here I was, a coach, daily telling people to, you know, overcome the eating habits, and I was trying to coach them into doing things. And I was having conversations with clients, and clients who were trying to lose body fat, who were maybe always in a diet mindset, basically me. And we're having conversations, and they'd be telling me, oh yeah, I was doing that, I feel that. Basically, everything they were telling me they were struggling with, I was still actually deep down struggling with myself. Look, I'll admit it, for 6 months as a new coach, I was still binging 7,000 calories at the weekend. Because I was still restricting myself to so low calories during the week, it affected my energy, my mood, my performance. God, that's about 4 months where I literally just did not improve in the gym at all. I lost my passion for training. I got significantly leaner over 2021, 22, 23. But then as I became a coach for about 6 months, I just actually got worse. I went from this guy here, when I first began coaching, and this was me at the end of 2023. It was just awful. Here I was charging people to get them into the better shape, and I was literally doing the exact opposite. And I really understood that, wow, I've actually got no idea about nutrition. Quite literally nothing. 2024 was when that changed. So after I began with my new coaches at the tail end of 2023, I started training for a photo shoot. For this photo shoot, I did go on to lower calories again. However, take that with a pinch of salt because it was for an actual reason. Like, I'd spent 2-3 years on 1,800 to 2,000 calories just because I was a tit. Whereas now I was on those calories because you were just trying to get lean for a photo shoot. I'm going to fast forward the clocks until April, done my photo shoot. Now I got down to about 89 kilograms, which is this photo here. So you can see I'm very lean. I look actually on the verge of unhealthy. I look like I'm a fucking drug addict. Look, the photos were great. I loved the photo shoot. It was brilliant. But I remember coming out of it thinking, this is not exactly what I want for myself. I believe I'm capable of more. Now, if you watched any of my other videos, or if you follow me online, you will obviously know that I am now very much Hyrox running hybrid. And that was something that at that point I was looking to pursue, but I just had no idea about it. Like, Not to even mention the actual training itself, the nutrition just blew my mind, because it was almost like one part of my brain was like, you know, you're gonna have to start eating more. And then the other part was like, no, you can't, you can't, you can't. And it was just messing with my head. Now we're gonna delve into exactly my tips, my advice, exactly how I went from, you know, the skinny guy, the guy who's in the best shape of his life. The first thing is just a complete shift in how you look at food. I just started looking at food as fuel. People just don't do it. And I used this analogy with a client the other day, and it really hit home with them. Imagine that your body is represented by a car, and obviously you go to a gas station to fill it up. What 90% of people are doing is they're going to the very first pump they see, they're just picking out the first one that they notice, they're not even looking at it, they're just putting it into their car, and they're not even looking at how much they're putting in, they're just getting something in there so they can carry on their journey. That's how people look at food. They don't actually think about what they're having, how much of it they're having. It's just tick a box. Like breakfast, I just have cereal and a coffee. See my point? So what I started doing was actually looking at, right, what is the best fuel for me? Is cereal the best fuel for me? No. Now, I'm not trying to hate on cereal. I love cereal. See, Crave. Mwah. Beautiful. But for where I wanted to go, it just was not good. So first of all, I just changed it. So I started, whenever I was buying food, I was just looking at it from a sense of, is this fueling me? Number two, reverse dieting. Something that we've probably all heard, and I would probably say that for about the first 8 months of my coaching, I probably still couldn't really explain to you what it was. After my photo shoot, obviously I was on like 1,800 calories. Now if I just jump right up to 3,000 calories, what's going to happen is, I'm going to put on a lot of unneeded, you know, timber. That is why you're going to slowly progress it up. Say if you've always been on 1,800 calories, let's just pluck my number out, okay? And then you want to push more into your hybrid training, your performance, you know, whether it be running or high rocks, or maybe you just want to start eating a bit more food. You want to just slowly increase it. So just go up by 1 to 200 per week. Because what it's going to do is it's not really going to make a big difference to the scale. I spent 5 years with a very bad relationship with the scales. So for me to now be eating more food, it took a lot of like mental fortitude for me to not go negative about it. So when you're only doing a couple of hundred calories per week, it can really, really help. And what you're going to notice is that another PB, you're going to start feeling a little bit quicker. Maybe your runs, you don't gas out quite as quickly. Maybe in the gym, that 42 kilograms that you've been stuck at 5 reps for 6 months, maybe you get that 6th rep, maybe you get that 7th rep. That little bit more food, it's just going to help you. And then what you're going to see is your body composition is going to actually improve, because your body's getting more fuel, which it needs to, aka burn body fat, build muscle, protect muscle. The next thing I done, I just completely changed up my training. I'd basically spent all of the 4 years a standard push, pull, legs, or back and biceps, or chest and shoulders, all that. Now, of course, that absolutely serves a purpose. I'm not here to hate on that at all. It's brilliant, okay? And it served me really, really good for the first portion of my career and life, pretty much. But it got to a point where I was actually just quite bored by it. And that's a big thing that I know people do. And because it's quite easy to get bored by it. Now, if you're not, then that's absolutely amazing. But for me, I was like, what is best suited for my progression? So I started changing it up. I started going more down the hybrid route, down the running route. Now, obviously, you have to start off small, but slowly and ever so surely, what was happening to my physique as well, though, is that I was burning so many more calories. I was actually getting leaner. And I remember at the time just thinking, how is this happening? What's going on here? How is this actually a thing? How am I getting leaner, but I'm eating more food? And it's just because it's how the body works. I was giving the body more fuel. I was actually eating to maintenance. And what the big thing with the maintenance was, I remember the first time I got told by my coach, hey, by the way, your maintenance is about 3,500. And I was like, what? Say that again? I just couldn't comprehend it. And then I just committed to it. He was like, mate, give me a few weeks and just eat those calories. And I was like, okay. And I did it. And then lo and behold, I got into even better shape. Now, what I'm going to say for this last part is not something that probably affects lots of you, but I did start thinking more about the macronutrients, carbs, your fats, all that stuff. The big thing is understanding that carbs are actually king. Carbs are actually beautiful, because again, I don't know for all it is, but for me, for a long time, I looked at carbs as like the enemy, as in like, oh, carbs make you fat, all that stuff. They don't. But I had to go through that. And that's one thing that I really hope you can take away from this video today, is that all the stuff that I'm coaching you through today and hopefully helping you through today, this is going to take time. Like, you're not going to go tomorrow, up your calories by 200, start eating more carbs and just feel completely fine about it. Like, you're going to have a big part of your brain which is going to think, oh, I might maybe, eating too much. It's going to happen. You've just got to stick at it. But yeah, with the carbs, I was able to fuel myself more, which meant that in my activities, I was actually burning more. Now, obviously, it's not all about, getting lean, but obviously that's what the point of this video is. So that is another reason why I was actually getting lean. It's because my activity levels were through the roof. The amount of calories that I was burning per activity, the amount of calories I was burning per day, even my ability to go for walks late at night were improved, because I actually just had the energy, because I wasn't so starving and lacking of energy and food all day long. And then to round all that off, obviously, what happens is your metabolism, it adapts, it changes. You get higher muscle, which means that you burn more calories, aka you become leaner and more fit and stronger. So now to the previous day. Now, am I at the same weight that I was at about this time last year? No, I'm not. And you know what? I might never be that way again. But I don't actually want to be that way. Because yes, that version of me was slim and lean, fantastic. But that wasn't me, because they weren't performing at the level that I would want them to. They weren't living the version of Connor that I would want them to. They were very, very quiet. They were very low in energy, and that's not who I am. And in the last 12 months, I have, in the time increasing my food, completed my first ever Tough Mudder, completed my first ever half marathon, completed 3 Hyroxes, in which I just recently took off an 11-minute PB in just a few months. None of that, and I repeat, none of that is getting done if I'm still on 1800 to 2000 calories. And in that time, I have also dropped a considerable amount of body fat, and I want the same for you. That is the point of this video. So many of you watching this video right now are probably still stuck in either a diet mindset or have been stuck in a diet mindset, but still don't really know how to move past it. Drop this channel a subscription, because all the videos coming soon are going to help with that. The main takeaways that I would give you from this video are: number 1, stop fearing food. Number 2, definitely stop fearing carbs. Number 3, if you are looking for a period of going to get a bit leaner, look at other metrics, photos, measurements. How's your mood? How's your energy? How's your performance? How's your sexual drive? All these things are just as important as weight. Train with intent. You're going to start eating more food. You're going to have more fuel. Do not train like the version of yourself who was still on 1800 calories if you're now on 2500 calories. Use that extra energy to good use and get the most out of your sessions. Not just for caloric burn, but also just to get better quality sessions. And the last one is, be patient. This has taken me a year. So many of you are wanting that result within a week, within a day, within a month. You might not get it. Hell, you probably won't get it in that time. You've got to just be patient, stick to the game, stick to the process, and in time it will come. If you have got any other questions on that journey of myself for the last year, then number 1, drop a subscription, because all the videos coming soon are going to be helping with just this. Number 2, follow my Instagram, because over on there I put out even more helpful tips. Or number 3, perhaps you actually might want to book in with a call with myself, and let's see if there's something that I can't help you with. Perhaps you're still stuck in your diet mindset, and perhaps you want to become that athlete version. As for that, have a great day. I'll see you later. Oh yeah, and if you like this video, you should maybe go and watch the previous one that I just uploaded the other day.